Okay, today we're looking at some problem solving and reasoning again. So pause the video here and can you practice counting in your 2 times tables and your 5 times tables. Remember, the more you practice, the easier they will get. Right, okay, let's start with this problem. So Jack and Ava are playing a game. They each collect a handful of cubes. They arrange their cubes to see who has more. But Jack and Ava can't decide who has more. I think that might be to do with the layout of their cubes. So have a go at finding out who has more, and can you explain why? So pause the video here and then we'll have a chat and go through it at the afterwards. Okay, so when you count in Jack's cubes, you'll have noticed he has 8, whereas Ava has 11. So Ava has more, because 11 is greater than 8, but I think the confusion was down to the fact of the way they've laid out the cubes. If they'd laid them out the same, with the spaces in, you'd have been able to see quite clearly that Ava had more. But because they're closer together, it looks like they've got the same amount, doesn't it? Okay, so we're looking at an always, sometimes, never question here. So she wants convincing either that she's right or wrong. When you find one less than a number, only the ones digit will change. So if you pick any number to 50 and you did one less, would only the ones digit change all the time. So put an example here. So if I was trying to prove it, I would be writing one less than something is. So pick numbers. Does only the ones digit change? Pause the video and have a go, and then I will go through what I would have done when I saw this question. Right, okay, so hopefully you realised that she is wrong, because some numbers, if you did one less than, both digits will change, the tens and the ones. So I went to 1 less than 20, 2 10 0 ones is 19, so the tens and the ones changed. And then I used the pattern again to prove it. With 1 less than 30 is 29, 1 less than 50 is 49. So in those instances, both the tens and the ones changed. But that was a tricky question, because most of the time, it is just the ones digit that's changing. Okay, spot the mistake. Can you correct it? So look at this statement. Read it out loud with the symbols. So 12 is more than 21, which is more than 33, which is more than 35. What's the mistake? Can you correct it? So pause it here. Underneath this slide on your sheet, can you correct it? What's gone wrong? Okay. If it was me and I was correcting it, all I would do is swap the symbol to the correct one. So 12 is not greater than 21. The symbol should have been the less than symbol. You might have swapped the numbers round instead. That is equally fine. You might have done 35 is greater than 33, which is greater than 21, which is greater than 12. But I decided to just swap the symbols round, so it was correct, because 12 is the smallest number, not the greatest. It's got the least amount of tens. Okay, so choose the correct numbers to make the sentences correct. So in that blue box, there are all your answers. So pause the video and fill in the gaps. The answer must be in that box. Okay, let's go through them. 25 is 1 less than 26, 38 is 1 less than 39, 48 is 1 more than 47, and 30 is 1 more than 29. Right, Josh and Cara are each buying more than 10 sweets. They place their sweets on the weighing scale to compare their amounts. Cara buys more sweets than Josh. Josh chooses some sweets from the shelf. What might he have picked? So he's going to get more than 10 but he doesn't have as many as Cara. So the first job you need to do is count how many sweets Cara has and then go from there. So I'm going to go through the answer once you've had a go. So there's lots of different possibilities for this one. Okay, Josh could have bought any amount of sweets between 11 and 31 because 11 is more than 10 and 31 is less than Cara's 32 sweets. So he could have bought any amount in between there. It just had to be more than 10 and less than 32. Could have been 26, 29, 19. Any of those answers would have been correct. Okay, so here's your problem solving and reasoning sheet. If you see handwriting lines, that means you need to explain why. So have a go at this one. We did it together, but the numbers are different. Who has more this time? Have a look carefully. Filling in the gaps. How much does Whitney have? Write in the answer. And then again, we've got one of those that needs convincing, and I've done you an example there. So is she right, is she wrong? Convince her by using those one more than sentences.